Head to Knoxville, don't be late. Baker's Live, it's gonna be great. June 5th and 6th, mark your date at Dollywood, we'll celebrate. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. Rides, fun, and meet and greet. Baker and pals, the crew's so sweet. Get ready for laughs, cheers, and thrills. Knoxville's the place, it's giving chills. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. June 5th and 6th, don't miss the fun. Meet Baker and friends, it's second to none. Baker and friends, it's second to
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And I accidentally shared the StreamYard link, so someone just tried to get in here. I don't know who it was, but I kicked them out again. Well, they had the name Oops, so probably someone who figured out that I made a mistake.
Oops.
I'm not that smart, Jamie. I don't know if you figured it out yet.
You are the smartest person I know.
That's well, you never go out, so that's a low bar.
Oh, stop it.
So
I know people.
I've been around.
I've been around, yeah.
But today will be quite a hectic day because we'll start out with Todd Mullis for roughly the first hour of that stream. Then we'll transfer over to the Karen Reed stream, hopefully joined by the wonderful Valhalla. And as every Beth hearing ever, it can last anywhere from 0 seconds till 4 hours. I don't think she goes longer than that. Can't do law without the claw. So it's going to be interesting. Jamie, have you heard the feds are out?
Is it official now?
It's 100,000 million times official. 2 anonymous sources have now said they are out and that they called all the witnesses and said, hey, you witnesses, we're dropping the case, because that's how the police normally work. If they don't gonna bring a case, they'll call every witness and say, remember that case 5 years ago where you were at the gas station and you saw a black car move up and there could have been someone who robbed the store? We're just gonna tell you we're not pursuing that case. That's how feds work all the time, Jamie. It's always how it works. The feds haven't confirmed it. The MSP haven't confirmed it. But let's all lose our heads.
Why not?
Well, because we lost our heads last Tuesday because clearly Bev was afraid of the feds. They
Yeah.
were circling her now because she was in legal trouble because she had an administrative job. And because you are an administrative worker, you lose your judicial immunity. Judicial immunity doesn't save you from doing illegal stuff anyway. It's just connected to the case if she makes a wrong ruling. Don't matter. Let's lose our heads, Jamie. And now let's lose our heads that she's not troubled by the feds. Or let's lose our heads that the feds are. I'm just saying, like the good old Mr. Betterow, if you follow him on Twitter, says, relax, read the book before you flip out.
Yeah. Everybody needs to calm down.
I think there's feds or something in the hidden parts of the defense motions. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe there's nothing. Doesn't really matter because the feds, as someone have said the entire time, don't trust the feds. Remember, Jamie, 4 months ago when the Free Karen Read movement started attacking each other because someone had on good authority that the feds were going to save Karen now.
Mm-hmm.
That everything would be gone, and they had a team of 5, and everyone knew that now the feds were going to swoop in. The feds didn't really. They had something to do that weekend, so couldn't make it.
They had plans.
Yeah. Then the week after that, Free Karen Read creators started attacking each other over something I never really figured out. And punching down, punching up, punching someone. I don't know. I work too much to care. And now, Jamie, the world has ended. Some Danish guy is late, if you know what I mean. Well, not this Danish guy, because just like a wizard, I'm always on time. You're a little late, Brandon, but nice to see you here. I hope your ribs are doing better, because you were crying like a little girl the other day about them.
Oh,
But that's okay. I didn't cry when I had I don't know if I maybe have bent a rib, or that little ligament that's between the ribs. I was doing seated rows, and I might have overdone it a little bit with 100 kilos on. So when it went forward, I could just feel something kind of slip, and that hurt a little bit.
I bet.
It's amazing how quickly tribalism dissolves into tribalism. Yeah, isn't it? That's why I'm glad I have all you all here, because we are a nice group of people. We don't yell at each other. Only Jamie.
I'm the only one.
Bev even mentioned in her motion that there may be a federal TRO on some of that info. Yeah, because that's because of the TUI. So there's nothing new in it. But I'm just saying, if everyone is sure that the feds are out, rejoice, because that means nothing should be impounded anymore because there's no ongoing investigation. Hallelujah. So all the papers. Oh, and by the way, then they can say, hey, ARCA guys, you were hired by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and that's where you reached your conclusions that John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car, correct? Then you don't have the problem that they think it was an insurance company or Aidan Kearney. How they ever got to that conclusion, someone must have told them.
And even if it was an insurance company,
they had to. How many jurors have we watched?
Yes, I know. But I'm just saying, like, you just automatically believe they're just on the stand to lie for the insurance company. I mean, I get it, but come on.
That's effed. Only good general surgeon I could find is a colorectal robotics specialist. What is that, Jamie? Is it someone going in rectally?
Yeah. Your colon.
How's he gonna fix a rib rectally?
Yeah, how's he gonna fix it from going up there?
He's gonna use a long tube. Maybe you'll like it, Brandon. Remember, cleanse before you go to the doctor. like a butthole drone.
Yeah.
But to everyone who is freaking out and sadly, stay away from Twit Twat. I figured that one out. Someone called me fecal something today.
Oh,
I have the nicest friends on YouTube, on Twitter.
you really do.
But if you're
They give you
flipping out,
such cute nicknames. Cute nicknames.
but if you're flipping out and thinking everything's burning down, it's been Bev the whole time. Relax. She was gonna f up the case no matter what. Trust in the defense. Don't trust in Twit Twats. What was I called this morning? I was called, "You remain a disgusting piece of excrement." Enjoy that
Ooh.
label. False accusers are abusers. I don't know who I've accused of anything. Accusing Jamie of being mean isn't an accusation. That's a statement of fact.
It's not. That is slander, sir.
I am doing great. I don't know. I don't know what. Maybe someone was on the wrong side. I think maybe they think I'm one of those people who said Colin did it or someone did it. I always say I don't care who did it. I just know Karen Reed didn't do it.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. We don't have to figure out this conspiracy or solve the crime. You just have to know that there is no way those injuries involved a vehicle, and that's that.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody gets so crazy about it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Thank you, Zach. I'm not just pieces of excrement. I am the excrement. Hey, little racing angel. Hello. Yeah. Leave me alone.
Mhm.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Love it.
Someone is starting off on the right foot today. But how is everyone doing? Are we ready for a long day? I've been in court all morning. That was boring. It was 20 charges. 20 charges, and we found her guilty in 18 of them. So that was nothing. Well, thank you for watching it with us. But I just hope they start a little closer to time today than yesterday, where they were 45 minutes late, because I've set my alarm. So we'll drop off at 10 minutes before the other case starts.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach's a little pussycat. He's not there. I'm trying to be mean and yell at Nightbot, but in reality, I'm such a little... What?
Oh, he made that up.
I've been trying to get an...
I was looking, I was like, did Nightbot say he's 230 years?
No.
No, that was him.
I've been trying to get an agent on a CIA line for 2 days, and it's driving... I don't know what CIA is. Good morning. Did I miss much in the afternoon? I missed it all and didn't have time to catch up. You didn't miss anything. They just kept attacking that ME. She kept being defensive. I don't really think they... I thought they were here to produce new evidence, but it seems like they're just yelling at former witnesses to hope they say something different. I don't know. Did you get anything from yesterday, Jamie, other than they were saying she potentially could have had an accident, and Emily said, nope,
Well,
no way.
it's hard because we didn't see the first trial to see, like, maybe they didn't question her the way they should have, you know. But I thought they got out a lot, in my opinion. I think they got out a lot of things where they should have been, you know, attacking her, because we said the same thing. Like, she did make the comment. She was kind of already in mind it was homicide before really, and then after evaluating it, okay, yeah, you know, and then to say that like, well, this didn't matter, I didn't need to know that, I didn't need to know that. I mean, I get that you don't need to know all these things, but the position of the rake, the fact that the clothes only had 4 holes in it, like, you know, there's a lot more to it, I think.
Yeah, and you have that whole. Did you talk to someone? Did someone help you? But again, if they're trying to switch it from it being a murder
Mhm.
to it being an accident this time, because apparently during the trial, their defense was he clearly did it. No, she was clearly murdered, but it wasn't by him.
Yeah.
And now they're
Yeah.
saying, well, she just fell over, and it
Yeah.
looks like they're going to chambers. So
Yeah. Well, from what I heard is they have their own expert too. So they probably wanted to get out as much out of her so they could counteract it with their witness. That's gonna say obviously the opposite.
yeah. But no, you didn't miss anything, Marty. It
Yeah.
was just the same and the same and the same, and it was just, did you f up the autopsy, because she was doing 3 autopsies at one time, and that's normal. And I don't know. I was just thinking that because there's no jury and it's a retrial of a trial, that they would kind of be more to the point. We wasted 3.5 hours yesterday asking the same question over and over and over
Yeah.
and over again. So yeah.
It definitely started getting repetitive, but I thought it started off pretty good.
Jane Doe really likes River Phoenix.
You're so very thin.
She it turns moist o'clock whenever she watches him.
Oh wow. Moist o'clock. You haven't said that in so long. Please don't. Please don't.
I was asked yesterday if the Crash Daddy shows up, what time will it be? It'll be moist o'clock.
Guys, don't let him do this.
It's my channel, Jimmy. I can do what I want.
Okay.
It's my channel, and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if Jamie was mean to you.
I don't make people cry. I make them laugh.
You yell
And
at your
smile.
neighbor when she stands outside looking.
I didn't yell at her.
You
I
call
just-
her a weirdo.
In my head, because they like to know my business.
It's kind of like the white rabbit when she looks at you, you know, oh. I shouldn't have said that.
Don't say it out loud to her. That's mean.
I didn't say anything to the white rabbit. She just looks at me and I think, oh, did I do something wrong?
Yeah. A look can say it all.
I don't know. Allegedly, I started trouble. I never. What's the male equivalent time, by the way? Well, I don't know any men who gets excited when they see River Phoenix, so I don't know what that is. But if it's a rest o'clock in Canton, then I know Bukaki has his tube sucked down his pant.
Oh my God.
That was highly inappropriate, having a boner when you're arresting a lady.
Ugh, those pants were so tight. It was unnecessary for those pants to be so tight.
Yeah, I don't know why. Brendan, I didn't pull it up because you only have 31% suasion. And after you're getting a butt drone today, I thought I would save you the embarrassment of only 31% suasion. I still can't figure out how his ribs is going to be fixed through his butt. You Americans are really you're first movers in a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was. And why do you have such tight pants on? First of all, why? You're not Italian. Stop wearing pants that tight. And second of all, you're a cop. You're supposed to be able to run and tackle people. And I've seen Lululemon pants with more give in them than those pair of pants. And why do you stuff a tube sock down the front of your pants? Because bukkake ain't that well hung. Yeah, I saw that they were yelling at Brennan when he arrived 45 minutes ago too. And no, I don't believe Chief Rafferty has ever been in one of the previous hearings. But again, she can just be at the courthouse. We don't know if she's going into that hearing. A lot of things goes on in a courthouse. That's why when people were flipping out that someone walked across the street to the other courthouse, it could be 1,000 reasons. That's why I will follow the rule of Betero. Read the book before you flip out, because a lot of people have been selling a lot of half-truth and full rumors the last week. I'm a bad grifter, so I should just do it. By the way, did you know Jamie did it?
I did what?
Exactly.
I did nothing.
The Swasia is low today, Jamie.
It really is. You guys gotta,
Up the Swasia.
yeah. You guys gotta go party with Roger.
Someone
more
keeps
Swasia.
walking past my window outside. Yeah, of course not inside. Why should he go inside? I asked Caffey Daffy if she could have found a more unflattering picture of Karen Reed to use for her post on X. She replied saying she thought it was a wonderful photo that showed she's expressive. Caffey Daffy is an idiot. I'm sorry to say. I know she's the greatest FBI agent since J. Edgar Hoover. Maybe she's even better than J. Edgar Hoover. They dress the same. But I still don't understand why a woman with her credentials can be so one-eyed in one case, and then she claims the same cops who did exactly all of this are a-holes in the Sandra Birchmore case. Almost like someone has friends in high places.
Yeah.
Some said she was arrived with Paul O'Keefe and Miss O'Keefe. Interesting. What time is it when you see an advertisement that says Zoe Kravitz and Natalie Portman? It's burger time. Both of those ladies could really use a meal. I don't like heroin chic or whatever they call those skinny ladies. I like a little meat on my chicken, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. I like to eat, so I don't know how those ladies do it.
Look at this Swasia. Salty Dog just came in, slapped everyone with a 99. You could hear it. That was
Look at that.
that was the pimp hand coming in. And someone got early baked today. You could hang with Roger today. Smoke a little rock, drink a little Bud Light, hanging out.
Yeah, mow some lawns.
Paul is keeping his hands away. Is he wearing a blue shirt today? Wasn't that the other one? Did anyone bring him donuts? Does your hoagie wipe the floor when you walk? Mine? No. I don't know. Zoe is genetic. Well, both of them are very, 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 very thin. I'm not a big fan of that. If there's sirens going off by you, I never went to the Valhalla compound, but there's not a lot. So it can either be you or it can be Volstorm that's in trouble. Isn't that the only two people who live anywhere near you? Oh, Salty Dog. Oh, yeah. Salty Dog is slinging the meat missile. Oh, and someone got the drama llama yesterday. It has arrived in the States. So thank you for letting me know that it has arrived. Yeah, it's the goats. They robbed the nearest liquor store. Nigella Lawson, oh, she's on coke. I'm not a big fan of cokeheads. Well, you can't have a member chat. This account isn't a member. It's Diva. Diva has been at the gas station again. That's because Volstorm isn't home. Diva is on her own. Troubles will ensue. Yeah, but I'm just not a big fan of people on coke. My Swaysha is over 1,000,000%. Buy my new bestseller, How to Get Your Swaysha Over 1,000,000 in 14 easy steps and 3 complicated steps. That'll be released next month on Zach's own label. We will be doing a fundraiser for Zach, so or what it's called, so he can sell you that book, and you can be just as Swayshery. The month after, I'll be selling your book, 10 Easy Steps to Being a Grifter, and it'll only cost $50 a piece. I'm telling you, that's Diva is in trouble. Steven's up there too. Well, if you read the headline, this is not the Karen Reed case. The Karen Reed case will be at 11. Because Bev started, instead of going home early, she starts late now. Start with the one in the mirror. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. What is happening? Come on, come on, come on. 20 minutes late. Hey, JVH. Hopefully we'll get started with this today. I'll just be sitting here, tickety talking. In the mirror. Hey, Christine. Catherine. What? Katrina Hetherington. Good morning and welcome. Nigella said she would never do Ozempic. I saw something about women on the red carpet for whatever award they just gave away. They are now suffering from Ozempic arms.
Oh my God, no. Is that a thing now
Yeah.
too? I mean, I knew it was a face thing.
Some fatties shouldn't get too thin because we look weird when we get that small. Pretty good, pretty good.
It's when they lose it really fast. They start to you start to get that concave look.
Yeah. And again, if you kind of built like a shithouse like I am, and then you get, I had a period where, I might have had a bad period, and then I changed my life and stopped doing a lot of stuff and stopped drinking, especially. And I tumbled down to like 140 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I look weird when I'm that
Really?
thin. Yeah, I was so skinny, it was horrible.
Wow.
And I couldn't control my body because that's not where I normally were. I'm fat now because after I got my back operated, my what do you call it? My What do you call the
It
system
is.
that burns off all your calories? It's called.
Your metabolism.
Yeah, my metabolism went to hell because of that operation and all the pills I had after. But when I just lost it all by stop drinking and just playing football all the time because I was bored or went out running or because I couldn't drink, I couldn't. My arms were weird and I couldn't control my body. It was like I was twice as strong as I used to be because you weren't carrying around all the fat.
Hmm.
140. No, I went to below. No, around 70 kilos, so 144 pounds. That was weird.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. Now that he says it, you actually meant 144 pounds, right?
Yeah, I need to make it into numbers you understand because if I said, yeah, I hit a 70 kilos, you would say, oh, that's a lot. No, it's not a lot, Jamie. Yes, it
Well,
is.
if you would have said 70 kilos, I would have said, wait, what's that in pounds? And I would have had to calculate it.
Yeah, and then I just did I took out the middle part of it and just gave it to you, and then you sat there and said 140 kilos. That's a lot. And he said he was slim at that point. What's he now? 200? Is he Brian Shaw?
Oh my God, stop it.
If I don't get my members chat tomorrow, I'm going to make the HR department HQ look like Oklahoma City. Jamie, that's for you.
Stick it in the complaint box. I'll get to it later.
I think he forgot that he got a member chat last week on his main
Yeah.
account.
He did.
Do you think it's not his ribs, but his dementia that's the problem?
I think it is.
And remember, HR have office hours from 4 to 4:01.
Yep. 4 to 4:01. Those are hours of operation.
Yeah, 170 is something that I weighed in like 8th grade.
Well, for a guy, 140 at your height is pretty skinny. That's why I was shocked.
I know you just added 2.2 pounds is a kilo. It's not that hard. I actually have we use numbers, not ABCs, but the highest we can get is an 11, and I got a 10 in math, so it's pretty close. When I lost a ton of weight, I became very clumsy because my muscle was still used to the much heavier me, spring-loaded as it were. Yeah, and if you were back then, I tried having a girlfriend. Didn't like it. It was weird. She talked to me. When you were sleeping at night, I was crushing her, not on purpose, but when she's in your crux of your arm and you're just.
I tried to have a girlfriend. Sorry, that was the funniest part of me.
Why do I
It
get
just
billed on
didn't
the
work
25th?
out.
Because you signed up on the 25th. You have to take it up with YouTube's. I don't know.
I tried to have a girlfriend once. Oh, that was funny.
How tall am I? According to Valhalla, I'm 6 foot. According to me, I'm 5'10". It's 154, not 144. It's 154. Thank you, Brandon. Yes. So I was 154, Jamie, not 144.
Oh,
Still skinny as heck.
it's still pretty skinny, yeah.
Still, that's very skinny for a man.
Well, yeah, with your height and everything, when you're built, you that would look funny.
No, the worst part of being in basic training and coming out and having I can have all the things I didn't have, and I lose weight. I used to be skinny, and then 5 years later, you think, no, I don't lose. Well, it's too late now. Burgers it is.
Hmm.
Yes,
Oh my God, that's funny.
maybe. Well, statute of limitation and all of that. No, my ex-wife is doing fine. And after my daughter started watching my show, I can only say, and I'm happy for that. 6'3" and 160 pounds. He could hide behind a lamp post. He could walk through rain without getting hit.
Yeah.
He must have been super skinny. That's a lot of weight to take off, especially if it's fast.
Hmm. You give your body a time to adjust. It usually isn't so bad. I think losing weight and weight training together is like the best thing. 'Cause then you
Yeah.
can like tighten up.
Pull up a BMI chart. Well, we actually had. I used to be. I was appointed to the board who accepts people to the National Guard, and we had to go through all these medical records and say in, out, in, out, in, out, and they just have to send in their height and their weight. They don't get a doctor's appointment. They just send in, I'm 6 foot and 250. And then they will say, well, BMI is too high, too low. And we will then send them a letter saying, hey, we looked at your application. We could be a little bit concerned about your weight issues and stuff like that. We had a guy send it back, said, what weight issues? I'm a professional bodybuilder. Well, I'm a bodybuilder, not professional, but I do competitions. And then he sent us pictures because BMI doesn't account for muscle. It's just static numbers.
Yeah. That's why usually those charts are not accurate at all.
I don't know. I think Fedorowski has seen his cognac bottle today.
It's the oldies. We're at the
No,
oldies.
it's more that Snäga has some Trader Joe food items. Not all the GMO.
Uh-oh.
Well, bulk up, bitch. Don't do so
What's
much
that?
cardio. Do more lifting.
Yeah.
Well, I like my men with no boobs.
It's based on skinny men with no butler boobs.
I'm not fat. I just have a very active gravity.
There you go.
Crashing a diet can be really bad because a lot of people will just yo-yo straight back up and take put more weight on because they can live the monk lifestyle for a couple of months and then they'll just overindulge when, oh, I hit my goal.
Yep.
You just had dinner. It's 4:30. How old are you? You're like Jamie, in bed by 6.
Excuse me.
Yeah, cardiovascular. Never heard of her. I've actually begun putting in more. I walk after every session just to get some steps in.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I have to.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to do, but I like
No, it
change.
loosens up the legs and stuff like that, so that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Did you have you ever done backwards walking?
I feel like that's an accident waiting to happen for me. I can't walk
No,
forward.
just do it slowly on the treadmill. It's supposedly really good for your knees because they get stretched in a different way.
Oh, I'm sure.
I tend to do
I'm
it.
just scared.
Tend to do it like when I start, do it like for 2-3 minutes, and then when I have been walking for 20 minutes, I'll do 2-3 minutes again, and then do like somewhere between half an hour and 45 minutes, just walking in a reasonable pace, and then I don't feel it. My knees are that bad after I have started doing that.
Hmm. I think I liked walking on an incline, like a really high incline was my favorite thing to do.
Do you have time to take a shower? Yeah. And even if something happens there, I'm just going to ask the same question 45 times. Walking backwards also help relieve shin splints.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm not. I only get those when I'm running. So, Daddy, don't run. These colors don't run, son.
You say daddy doesn't run. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's almost time for the next stream. 20 minutes, then we're changing.
I know. I was just thinking that.
I'm not sure we're going to, but then we had a long lead-in stream to that.
And you can just zoom through all this like BS.
Yeah, it's going to be the same questions. The only problem is they talk so fast, so I can't really speed it up, and then people are...
Mhm.
Dinner's around 4 in Norway. Do you eat again before you go to bed then? Because when I was a kid, everyone was looking funny at us because we always ate at 5. And that's early. Nowadays, I eat at 6, 7 o'clock. But back then, we ate at 5 every night because my mom and dad had evening shifts.
Mm.
So 4 o'clock for dinner, when do you eat lunch? At 8 in the morning? Breakfast at 2 at night? That's
Hi, Panilla.
Hello, Panella. I had several hours of work to do before my appointment at 1:30. I think I'll hang out here and just go in late and unprepared. That's the only way you can do it.
I mean, it's
Never
the best way
prepare.
to do it. Never prepare.
In Norway, it's been dark for like 4 hours by 4 p.m. No, it's not. He's not that far north. Oh, so you have second dinners. It's kind of like the Brits who have tea at 5 and then have dinner at 7 or 8. Inefficient. The Germans would have never allowed it. Looks like we have a judge in the room. We have a judge. That comb over, Jamie. If I ever get that desperate, just tell me to take it off.
I will. Don't worry. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. And the rumors that you heard that Valhalla has his dreadlocks to cover up his comb over is not true.
He's got glorious locks of hair.
Yeah,
He's
and
not
they are
covering anything up at all.
100% real. None of them are put in. None of them. Not 1 ounce of nylon in that hair.
There's nothing wrong with fake hair. Girls do it all the time.
We have the state has stipulated to a numerous amount of our exhibits, and we have also stipulated to some of their exhibits for admission, starting with 201 to 202, 204 to 208. However, Exhibit 206 will be refiled as what was presented in the criminal trial, Exhibit 66. Exhibit 221, 225 to 230, 232, 253 to 255, 257 to 271, 287, 289, 290 to 291, 295 to 96, 302, 309, 316 to 322, 324, 326 to 344, 347 to 352, 354 to 355, 380, 500 to 580, 600 to 655, and then states exhibits F through J. Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel for the state, is that accurate with regard to the proposed exhibits on behalf of the applicant? Is there any objection to their admission?
No, Your Honor, that is a correct recitation of our agreement. However, with regard to some of those exhibits, as we discussed in chambers, it's with the caveat that they are being admitted to streamline the process, but that any portions that were ruled upon by the court that would not come in, such as discussion related to Alfredo Parish, for example, that would not be considered by the court.
All right. The identified exhibits on behalf of the applicant will be admitted to the extent any portion of the admitted exhibits would contain information that was previously ruled on as not admissible by the court. The court will not consider that portion of the admitted exhibit. And then with regard to the state's identified exhibits, those will be admitted as well. Any other preliminary matters that we need to address before getting back into evidence on behalf of the applicant?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you may call your first witness then.
Thank you, Your Honor. We call Dr. Jennifer Hamers.
Good morning, doctor. Take your time, come forward and have a seat in the chair to my left.
I will.
Yep, go ahead and have a seat. If you'd raise your right hand. You've been called as a witness. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be true and correct?
I do.
Okay, and then there's a microphone in front of you, a bottom button in the center. Perfect. And then you can adjust the chair and the microphone so that you can sit comfortably.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Thompson, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Dr. Hamers.
Good morning.
Can you please introduce yourself to the court?
Sure. My name is Jennifer Hamers, Jennifer Hammers.
Were you retained as an expert by attorneys for Todd Mullis in this case?
Yes, I was.
And are you here this morning to offer opinions about your evaluation and work in this case?
Yes, I am.
We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to start by asking you about your background and experience. What is your current profession, Dr. Hamers?
I am a forensic pathologist.
Briefly, what is forensic pathology?
Let's not do this.
Pathology is a subspecialty of pathology, which is a specialized area of medicine that specifically focuses on the investigation and determination of cause and manner of death, primarily for decedents who die suddenly or unexpectedly.
Where is your practice based out of?
It's based out of Western Pennsylvania, so in the Pittsburgh area.
Do you currently work as a forensic pathologist for any governmental entities?
My business holds contracts with different counties, which are governmental entities, to perform autopsies for their counties.
Why do those counties have contracts with you to perform those autopsies?
So they're small counties that aren't large enough to have their own medical examiner system, like there are in many larger cities and states. And so those small counties will contract with forensic pathologists to perform their autopsies, because the coroners who are responsible for the investigation are not typically physicians or even are not typically forensic pathologists or even physicians.
Do you perform the same services for those counties that a medical examiner would in a larger county?
Yes, I do.
In your capacity with your contracts with those counties, do you work with police and law enforcement at all?
I do.
And what do you do in that capacity with law enforcement?
I get information from law enforcement about their investigation. I'll get reconstruction reports if the police do accident reconstruction. And depending on the county, there will be detectives or police who will show up to observe the autopsy, take photos from the autopsy, or collect evidence.
I want to come back to your current employment in a minute, but let's talk briefly about your education. Are you a medical school graduate?
I am.
What degree do you have?
I have a DO or a Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine.
Is that different from an MD?
The medical training is the same. There's some additional training in osteopathic manipulation that osteopathic physicians get, but essentially the basics of the medical education and the time that it takes to become a physician and the training is the same.
After graduation, did you do a residency?
Yes, I did.
For how long?
For 4 years.
And after your residency, did you do a fellowship?
Yes.
Where?
I did my forensic fellowship at the New York City Medical Examiner's Office based in Manhattan. And I stayed there for a second year of fellowship, specifically focused on forensic neuropathology and cardiac pathology.
What did you do during your fellowship?
So I performed autopsies primarily. I testified in court to my findings. And in my second year, I served on the consultant service to examine hearts and brains that were saved from our forensic cases. During that year, I also continued to perform autopsies.
While you were performing your fellowship in New York, were the autopsies that you were performing only on people who had been residents of New York City before they died?
No, the jurisdiction, the law indicates that anybody who dies within the city, it's the responsibility of the medical examiner to investigate and determine the cause and manner of death. So that included tourists, people who were brought into hospitals in New York City from other states or other counties. Those all fell under our jurisdiction.
In addition to things that for you would be typical autopsies, did you perform any autopsies involving atypical deaths?
Yes, certainly.
Can you give me some examples?
Sure. We had deaths that were unusual because of being in a city. We had people who jumped off of buildings and bridges and would be injured by objects on the ground or close to the ground. We had, because of the nature of the medical centers there, we had people from rural areas that either had work-related accidents, industrial accidents, that would be brought into the city.
When your fellowship was over in New York City, where did you go?
I took a job as a medical examiner in Boston, Massachusetts, working for the Commonwealth.
And what geographic area did your work in that office cover?
So we covered all the cases from the Boston area, but we also received cases from the entire Commonwealth, so all the way to the western border.
And just like in New York City, what kinds of cases did you see while you were there that might be different from more typical cases?
So certainly a lot of water-related deaths. We had an increase in rural deaths, so vehicular accidents, farming accidents, accidents, in the woods while skiing on a mountain, those types of things.
After your time in Boston, where did you go next?
I moved back to New York City. I was invited to come back and work there, so I went back to the New York City Medical Examiner's Office and worked for 4 years.
This is a bench trial. Why are we going over all of this? The judge have had a summary.
I think that's what
I
was
can't
thinking.
wait till we switch the trial and then I'll blow an aneurysm over Hank. And then we can come back and speed through all of this.
Did you have any particular responsibilities during those 4 years in New York?
So in addition to doing autopsies again, for the first 2 years, I was the fellowship program director for the 2 programs that I had graduated from. And so that meant that I was responsible for training and helping maintain the accreditation for that program. So I did a lot of teaching of the fellows during those 2 years that I was in Manhattan.
We're not in the courtroom. We are not important. It's not important that we know about it. There's no jury. There's just a judge.
The second 2 years I moved to Brooklyn, and I was the deputy chief medical examiner of the Kings County facility, which covered cases for Staten Island and Brooklyn. And in that role, I basically was in charge of running that office, the day-to-day operations. There were 7 other medical examiners that worked with me. The fellows rotated. We had medical students from primarily from Downstate University.
Yes, but you don't have to go through every part of her circumvitare, whatever it's called. You can just, the judge have it.
And then a staff of about 40 people. So I ran that office and then was part of the city medical examiner's executive team, which made decisions about hiring, budgets, running the DNA lab, running all of the offices and the training programs.
For those jobs that you had in Boston and New York, did you testify in court?
Yes, I did.
And did you testify in cases where your conclusion was that the death involved was a homicide?
Yes.
Did you testify in cases where you drew other conclusions?
Yes.
What did you do after your time in New York?
So I was looking for a job or evaluating jobs as a chief medical examiner, and ultimately was offered a position in a private practice in Pittsburgh with Dr. Cyril Wecht. So I accepted that position and moved to Pittsburgh to work with him in his private practice to help him perform autopsies.
Is Dr. Wecht still alive?
No, unfortunately, he passed away just about a year ago.
And what was your job with Dr. Wecht?
So my job was to work for his practice. I primarily performed autopsies, completed autopsy reports, and testified in court to those findings.
Did you ultimately leave Dr. Wecht's practice?
I did.
When did you do that?
In November of 2022.
And what did you do next?
So in November of 2022, I started working for myself full-time. And so I had already been performing per diem autopsies for other counties that needed help or when people were on vacation. And I had my own medical leave.
Yeah, but you can just stipulate to it, say, this is her CV, and then they can say, yeah, we accept it. Again, it's... they have stipulated to so many other evidence. They don't need to do that. The doc can, the judge can read it.
Consulting cases that I worked on, so I just transitioned into doing that full time.
And why did you do that?
I felt like after, almost 10 years working for the government and 5 years of working for Dr. Wecht at 15 years of experience, I had always wanted to either run an office or work for myself, and I felt like that was a good time for me to do that.
How many employees does your business?
She already testified in the first trial. It's kind of like the ARCA guys all over again. So there's no reason not to let them in other than if they want to play speed bump.
Have now?
We have between full-time and part-time people who work with us, 14 people.
You told us earlier that you hold contracts to perform autopsies for various counties in Pennsylvania. Is that right?
Yes.
What percentage of your time in your current practice is spent doing work for those counties?
I would say probably about 60 to 70%.
And in terms of the demographics of those counties, are they rural or urban or suburban, or what is their makeup?
They're primarily rural, with one county having some small areas that are, I would consider, a little more suburban.
For the autopsies that you've performed for those rural counties, what kinds of injuries are you seeing at autopsy?
The whole variety. We see the typical cases that medical examiners see, like, motor vehicle crashes and gunshot wounds. But we see a lot of deaths in more rural areas, like people on dirt bikes or ATVs, farms, people at work who are passing away, those types of cases.
In your current practice, do you testify in court?
I do.
And have you testified on cases in your current practice where your opinion has been that the manner of death was a homicide?
Yes.
All right, you said that I think you said 60 to 70% of your current practice is with those counties, is that right?
Yes.
What else are you doing with the rest of your professional time currently?
So I participate in medical legal consultations, like I've done on this case, and a large amount of that other time is spent teaching and as the pathology division chief at the Duquesne University.
Jamie, my alarm is going off. We're going to switch over to the Karen retrial, get Valhalla on board, and then we can come back to this because
Yeah.
we got to see how mad we have to be at Hanky Panky today. See you over on the other stream in 2 seconds.
Welcome to the Broken Baker, where crimes are baked in every show. Mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go!
I did hear Aqua on the radio the other day, and I was just, it makes me think of you, Baker.
Yeah, because I'm a